We are officially live on the Monday morning show. Brendan Helm, Monday, February 1st. I hope you all are doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Looks like Ian's doing good too. We're ready to rock and roll. Ian, we've kept quiet for about an hour now.
Yes, it's been the worst morning ever.
How are you doing and how was your weekend?
I'm doing great. So, this whole morning, I picked you up about an hour ago, and we've said maybe 4 words to each other, and we've been together the whole time, so it's been miserable. But my weekend was fantastic. Let's see, what did I do this week? I did a lot. So on Saturday, I'm actually looking for my first home. I went shopping I looked at 14 or 15 different homes for myself on Saturday, so literally all day long. And I found two or three that I really, really liked. Thought about it, prayed about it, and yesterday put in an offer for the house, and it was accepted. So I will be, hopefully, if it closes smoothly, moving into my new home in March, my first home. So first time home buyer. It's very nerve-wracking. It's much different doing it for yourself than helping other people, but I think the coolest part about it is being able to go through, being able to go through and experience the process for myself, like the emotions that go behind it and everything. It really helps me understand like what my clients are going to be going through. So I'm helping my cousins right now, and just like all the emotions that go behind real estate it's more than just like numbers, and it's more than just a house. In my eyes, a lot of these houses are just houses, but searching for your home is a very different feeling. So that was a very big event that happened this weekend, and a pretty big life change for me.
Yeah.
So some big steps forward.
So you said March?
The closing's in mid-March.
So you'll be moving in when?
Mid-March.
Mid-March?
Yeah.
It's right around the corner, dude.
I know. It's
Dang.
Yeah,
Dang.
It's pretty crazy. I wanted to get a 4th bedroom because I wanted you to stay with me and not move.
Oh, really?
It didn't work out.
We're going there. Okay. Okay.
So you've been breaking my heart a lot recently, so it's okay. But
That's what I do.
yeah. No, how was your weekend though? What happened?
It was busy, but it was a lot of fun. I had some buddies in town from Evansville from school.
Cool.
We went to Top Golf on Friday. We were there for
Anyone that I would know?
Jesse, Justin,
okay,
Eddie. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Eddie lives here, but Jesse and Justin were here.
Perfect.
So we went to Top Golf Friday night, which was surprisingly we didn't have a long wait.
Really?
Usually, you couldn't reserve anything online. They had all their things taken up, so we were like, we'll go in, we'll put our name in and go get lunch somewhere else or dinner somewhere else. And we walked up, and she was like, it'll be about 10 minutes. And I was like, wow. So, yeah, we got up in there. We were there for, I think we did 2 hours, hour and a half.
Awesome.
It's a lot more expensive when you get food.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Top Golf. I'm terrible at golf, but I love Top Golf. It's just so much fun because you can go with people that aren't even any good, and you hit and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And nice heated seats, and it's very, very nice. But I think, this weekend the snow too. It felt like Christmas again, man.
Oh, yeah.
How's the audio?
I'm checking the audio.
All right.
For those of you that are watching. I'm making sure our audio is good.
Yeah, it's just.
Your audio is quiet.
I'm checking the audio. Yeah, turn my audio up, man. So you can't hear me.
I don't know what you did.
Oh, I'm number 3.
No, you're number 1.
Or number 1 now.
I don't know why you're so quiet.
Test. Wow, I had to go through that whole monologue and no one could hear me?
You can hear you. It's just quiet. Your audio is quiet.
Turn my audio up, man.
That's not terrible.
That's not the worst.
Could be worse.
That's doable.
Anyways, Friday did that. Top Golf. Saturday, car shopping.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
I'm over it. I'm so over it. We've been to every single dealership and car sales lot all over the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
It's just tiring. So, yeah, we didn't get a car yet, but we did all Saturday morning car shopping. Saturday evening, though, one of the things I wanted to talk about was we
Yes.
went to so the Bottle Works district is kind of like getting
Yes,
really developed.
Absolutely.
We went to the Garage, which is the food hall there, with like a bunch of
And?
different restaurants and like little shops and stuff. It is so cool. Like it is the coolest
Really?
looking. I could just sit there and people watch and look around. Like it was
There you
just,
go.
it's really cool. I like it. Well, so you probably haven't been. There's a coffee shop in San Diego called James Coffee Company,
Okay.
and so like it's in this like garage where there's like little kind of shops and there's a barber
Yeah.
shop and like a game shop and it's like it was like that but at a bigger,
That's
nicer
so
scale.
cool.
So there's like a whole bunch of different restaurants. There's like a little bar in the middle, and then there's a barber shop in there. There is a clothing company, I think
Okay.
is what it was. But yeah, it's super cool in there. Like it's really cool. So we went there, got dinner
How's the
there.
food?
Really good. We got this like Venezuelan, I think.
Oh,
I think it was Venezuelan food. It was like this like little fluffy bread thing that they hollowed out the middle and then put like chicken and cheese and stuff in.
that sounds incredible.
It was delicious. So that was cool. And then Sunday church, and then oh, my dad's birthday's today. Happy birthday, Dad. Yes, but yesterday we went to Giordano's for lunch, and then went.
You've been just
I know.
going out.
Then we
okay.
went duck pin
Oh
bowling
my God.
after lunch yesterday. So it was like it was a go get 'em weekend, but it was a lot of fun. Got to see
Yeah.
people we don't normally see and spend
Yeah.
time with people we love. So
Awesome.
that was my busy but kind of nice weekend.
Yeah. Do you enjoy snow?
Uh, it is pretty,
Yes.
and I like it when I'm getting in like the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
But after Christmas, and I don't know, I just don't like cold. I hate being in the cold. I like summer. I like the heat because I like going outside, going on runs, going on walks. Like I'm just such an outdoors, go out and do things person that like cold, snow, rain.
Like
Not
it
a
was
fan.
Saturday night when it first started snowing. I was like, man, this is beautiful.
Mm.
It's soft. It's so quiet out. But then, like literally the next day, it was like muddy everywhere, and it's like, man, I agree. Warm weather's where it's at. So I mean, I don't blame you for wanting to leave me. It's
But you do blame me all the time for wanting to leave you.
constantly. I do constantly.
So this past week, so
Yes.
Friday,
Yes.
we aired the episode with John Nelson,
Yes.
who is the CEO founder of the Block podcast.
Mhm.
For those of you that haven't watched it, go back and watch it because it is phenomenal.
Great episode.
Yes, absolutely amazing episode. So he started up the Block podcast. He is kind of in a similar boat with us. He's under a year old, starting out a podcast. He does video. He interviews people. So it was really cool to see that relatable aspect, but also just to hear his personal story. So
Yes.
the Block podcast, John Nelson. What are some things that you took away from this
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah. So I listened to it again this morning. I
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
We got audio back, I believe.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Okay. All right. Holy moly, that's loud.
Oh, lovely. Let's check my mic, 1 2.
My mic, 1 2 3.
Let's check my mic, 1 2.
My mic, 1 2 3.
Ah, we're back. We're good.
We're just gonna keep rolling.
Yeah, let's just roll it.
All right. Do I need to do my whole monologue
Yeah, I
about
think,
the
I
podcast
think we gotta start
again?
all over.
Like from the very beginning?
I don't know. We might as well.
Gosh, dang it.
Lovely.
So they have to watch 15 minutes of nothing before they get to this?
No, we had some audio for a little bit. I think. So this past Friday we had John Nelson on the show. It was episode.
I don't even know.
So John Nelson was on the show. Sorry for the audio issues, guys. We're keeping it real here. We're just having fun hanging out, learning with you guys. We had John Nelson with us on the show this week. He is the CEO, the founder of The Block Podcast. If you haven't checked it out already, go over to his Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that fun stuff, The Block Podcast. If you haven't watched the episode already, go back and watch it because let me tell you, it was phenomenal. But yeah, just really cool to hear his story, his come up. He is a new podcast, under a year old, just like us. We were able to relate to that aspect. Go over to his studio, check it out. Super cool. Just really cool to hear his story and kind of the deeper meaning behind why he does what he does. And so, yeah, I thought it was really cool. Ian, what was some amazing takeaway you had from this episode? Try again.
Yes, take two.
Take two.
Take two. No, a couple different things. The first thing that really stood out to me with John was his ability to come back from his life decisions that he had made previously that had put him in a very rough spot and turn it around into now just being that. I mean, just being around him, it was like it was infectious. Like the energy that he gave, the positivity that he brought to the conversation, his smiles, his laughs, like just his demeanor by itself was actually like inspirational to be around. Much less the fact that what he's actually able to do. And so my key takeaways from the whole episode, no matter what age you're at, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even if you've made mistakes, what's important is to learn from what you've gone through, whether it's good or bad. Make sure you have a positive takeaway from it. Learn from others around you. Turn that into something, and then being able to turn that into something positive to help others as well. And I think that, again, with him, it would be very easy for someone like him to be very focused on himself and his own success. But during the whole conversation with him, he would always deflect to helping others. Like whether it was when he was security, I think said he was security for a prison or something, and being able to help help those inmates, like being able to affect others in a positive way, and not being able to focus on, oh, look what I've done, I've got out of this tough situation, It was, I've been able to do this in order to help others, which I think was really, really cool. And you don't see from a lot of people that have, been successful, is like, a lot of times they like to be like, oh, look what I did, I was able to accomplish this, this, and this. And it was very refreshing to see that. My second takeaway, kind of going along with that, partnering with that, was his positivity about where he was and what he's about. So in the urban areas where he focused and who he interviews, like he said on the episode, could be, it's rougher areas, and there's a lot of negativity that comes along with those areas, talking about the disparity and the poverty, and just for him to bring light to the good that is in those areas, for me, was really refreshing, because all we hear on the news is terrible, 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 and like don't, even in local politics, is like, don't go to this area, don't go to this area, and he's he's been able to pull out the beauty of those areas in his conversations with people, and that was for me my favorite part of it. So
No, yeah, I really liked like what you said. One thing too that he had mentioned along the sharing with others, you talked about how he has become like less like me focused,
Yes.
and taking the things he learned and sharing
Yes.
it with others. The way he worded it shared his heart so clearly. He was like, I've been through all of this for a reason. It's like I didn't just go through all of this for no reason.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna share that with people so that they don't have to go through the same stuff. And so that was really, really cool to see his heart behind, not just I want to do this for others so that I get applause. It was, man, I've experienced some tough stuff.
Yep.
And I'm gonna share that with others because I don't want that to go to waste. So that was really cool. I had a few really big takeaways that really hit with me. The first one that he talked about was so like when he was with the security at the prison, doing whatever he was doing there. He talked about how it's very easy for people in those situations to like pull the I can't card.
Yep.
Like they look at
Yeah.
their current situation, they say, oh, I can't do anything with my life. I can't do this. I can't. He said, don't tell me you can't, because I was you. He's like, I've been there. I know you can. If you just if you want to, you will. Like you'll make it happen. So I really liked that mentality of like just taking the victim card and burning it up.
Yes.
Because I feel like
it's refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, the
not being
victim-
able to push blame.
yeah, the victim card is so addictive because once you have an out in any situation, it's like, oh,
Yep.
poor me. Which
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you are victim in some situations, but
Yep.
to like make that your identity
Yeah.
and like your life trajectory is rooted in that, man, that stinks.
Yeah.
So for him to say like, I hear all the time I can't,
Yeah.
and him to say, on top of that, don't tell me you can't,
Yeah.
because you can. I was you. I've been there. I know what it's like. So
Wow,
that stuck with me.
Dang, Brendan, that is an excellent point. I actually, I've seen that so many just in my own personal life and with my friends and even with myself sometimes. It's natural to take the finger and point around you.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it really does hold a lot of people back from achieving what they want to achieve. Like,
Yeah. And it's not to say that people aren't victims in certain
Right,
situations.
right.
Like you could be a victim
Yeah.
to a major tragedy. I'm not saying you're not, but to let that become your identity
Yeah, yeah.
and drive like where you're going in life,
Yeah.
man, like that hurts me to know that like
Yeah.
every step you take is through the lens of this victim status. And it's like, man, I'm sorry you went through X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
I really am. We need to make sure that that's righted and figured
Yeah.
out. But man, don't make every single step in your life out of that.
Yeah.
And then when you get in a tricky situation, don't play that. Like,
Yeah. And I think when we were talking to him and mentioning, and I asked him, I remember asking him, he's talked about, I was like, so how do you maintain the positive outlook, whether it's in your interviews on the block or whatever? And he said, not just, he said, it's really as simple as just not bringing up the obvious negative things. Like, so he was like, yeah, I may know that your stepmother was this or this. He's like, but I'm not going to bring that up in an interview with you. I'm going to focus on something like, and that's, being able to redirect conversations and be like, focusing on the negative will only get you so far. And it doesn't really get you that far. You have to focus on, because that's in the past. Like, what's already happened has happened. The only thing that you can change is where you're going. And I think that was his whole point is, and another point that I actually wanted to bring up was what he wanted to start doing was speaking in like high schools and things like that, which people like him need to be speaking in high schools. Like he's living proof that no matter which little school you're at, where you're at in life, you can get it done. But one of the things he said was, a lot of people can tell you what to do. He says, I can tell you what not to do. And people, and at first, when I first heard it, I was like, well, I don't know if I necessarily agree, because anybody can tell you what not to do. Like, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's done all of the things that you shouldn't do gives him that, like, step up of, like, look, this is what happens when you actually do the things you're not supposed to do.
There's added weight to it. It's not just like me sitting in my lazy boy and saying, hey, do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. No, it's like, man, I went through that trail and look at this scar that I got from doing that. Whether it's a mental scar or a physical scar, like to actually have those scars to show and say, hey, you don't want this. Trust me.
And like a lot of kids, especially in the areas and schools that he's looking at, may not have a positive influence that can actually tell them that. You know, they may not have an active parent role in the family, or maybe they do, but you know, sometimes it's a lot better to hear it from someone else besides your parents. You know what I mean? So for him, if he's able to get kind of that started and get doing it, that would be awesome. So I mean, just a plug for his podcast. If you haven't listened to it already, definitely recommend just checking him out, just showing him some love, because I think what he's doing, you know, he is just starting out, but I think the potential of what he's doing especially could be quite big.
Yeah. Another big thing that we touched on, I don't know how much time we spent on it exactly, but we were talking about like overriding feelings, comfort, and emotion.
Comfort, yeah, I remember
in
that.
certain situations. And so like when he was talking about like getting his life together, like when he was becoming sober and clean and like trying to just do like the right things.
Yeah.
He talked about like doing what he didn't want to do. He was like, I've tried doing what I want to do. Let's try what I don't want to do. Like the tough stuff, the hard stuff that doesn't feel good in the moment. And like I really appreciated that conversation just because like it's such a prevalent thing, especially for me getting into ministry.
Yeah.
Like our feelings, our emotions, and our comforts can easily dictate our decisions and our actions, which is dangerous. And it's not that we don't like we recognize feelings and emotions and comfort, like we recognize those things, but to put those at like the driving force behind why we do things, that's dangerous. Because again, we want things that aren't necessarily the healthiest for us. Like I want to go home and eat a nice big juicy cheeseburger every night, but I can't. Like, it's a terrible metaphor, but like I really appreciated how he was able to like firsthand experience share like, yes, I had to set my feelings aside for a point in my life to actually become progressively better. Like I had to focus on the long term, the future, instead of the here and now, what feels good and what makes me most comfortable. So like I really appreciated that conversation, especially hearing it from him. About like his life and turning it around and all of that stuff.
So actually when I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I went to a conference with my parents, and it was Do Hard Things. Have you heard of them? Alex and Brett. So they had a book, and I read the book as well, but it was a Christian thing, talking about like teen Christian things, like doing hard things outside of the norm, but it's applicable everywhere. It's if you want to succeed, and I feel like we hear it all the time, whether it's from, you know, athletes or, you know, wealthier people that have gone from nothing to something, is you do have to go outside of your comfort zone. And it kind of relates to what we were talking about earlier with, you know, just focusing on the negative. Is it's not, you have to go outside of what feels comfortable. And whether it's, I need to wake up an hour earlier so I can get to the gym to achieve your health goals, or like, you know, if you need to save money, instead of, I shouldn't go shopping today, I'm just gonna, you know, I have the clothes I need are fine. You know, it may be a little bit harder in the moment. And I think a lot of what he was focusing on is the only way you can move forward and progress is by breaking out of your comfort zone. It's just like the only way, like, a lizard can get new skin is by shedding his old skin. Like, it's not, you have to take some things away in order to get other things, I guess. And so, I mean, doing hard things, getting out of your comfort zone, and while all doing that, remaining positive, it's very difficult. Very difficult, but very, very rewarding, as he's living proof of. I really appreciated, well, one, him experiencing that and sharing that, but like attesting to that reality that like, man, I had to set my comfort aside for a time. Like, if I hadn't, I'd still be there. So that was just really cool. And the last thing that really stood out to me, and I think stood out to you as well as we were listening to the podcast, was just talking about how, like, he mentioned how some of his friends appreciate his transparency. And like, he wasn't, like, he didn't put himself to be something else and then behind the scenes act a totally different way. Like, if he'd experienced something, whether it was detrimental to his character, like his how people viewed him or not, he shared it. Like, he lived in a glass house, and like, if he's experienced something or done something that is bad, he'll share that with you so that you don't have to go through that as well. And it's like, that is something that is so rare in today's society. Like, with social media and like online profiles, like, it is so easy to put yourself off to be someone you're not, or even just hide all of the little imperfections about yourself that you don't want anyone to see.
and you get so caught up in the applause of others,
Yeah.
and like they never get to see you, and they never get to learn, and like you never get to really impact them in that
Yeah.
way. So it's, like you said, very refreshing to hear someone say like,
Right.
man, I'm transparent. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
tell me something about me that I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sharing it with you. I'm gonna tell you if I've made this
Yep.
mistake because I care about you.
Yeah.
More than I care about my pride or my ego or my profile. Like,
Yeah.
just really refreshing to hear that.
I couldn't agree more, Brendan. I've known too many people that are the opposite of that, you know, and it's just it's very difficult to truly grow close to someone without being vulnerable with them at some level. You know, you definitely don't have to tell someone every single one of your problems. You don't have to, you know, go on Facebook and say, here's everything I struggle with. I did this bad thing yesterday. Like, you don't have to be like totally open, but with him specifically, when he's talking to people, he's like, being able to share your failures without fear of other people's opinions of you. And that's one thing about him, is you could tell that he was his own person. He even said, it doesn't matter what other people, like, as long as I know that I did a good job and that I was doing my best, then I'll be happy. And it's very rare to find people that are truly doing things for not others' approval. And I think that was very inspirational, because it was like, for me, I need to make sure that I'm doing things for, you know, my success, but it's not like I'm perfect by any means. I feel like we brought up some of my flaws already in previous episodes, but it's just like, everybody struggles with something. Every single person struggles with something. Everybody has a failure of some sort. A lot of people have secrets that they don't like to get out. And being able to be open about your failures will actually, again, is doing the hard thing. If you open up, people will either be able to help you with it, be able to encourage you, and if nothing else, you'll figure out who's a true friend or who's not.
Yeah.
You know, if people are only around you because they think you're successful, I mean, I feel like it kind of goes for itself. People know, but like, if you need to surround yourself with people that'll accept you for some of your flaws and be able to help you build out of it, not just say it's okay that you failed and be like, it's okay to keep failing, but like, hey, you failed, here's how we can help you get out of it. And I think I agree. Being able to be open and transparent was really nice to hear.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, too, and I was just conveniently talking about this yesterday at church with students that I lead. Like, I'm naturally a people pleaser. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone in the room is pleased.
Yeah.
But it's like this balance, this teeter-totter of like living for others, but not living for the applause of others.
Yeah.
And so like, it's really hard to live in such a way that you desire to serve others and please them and make them happy, and meet their needs, but not fall into like the pride that can come from knowing you did that.
Yeah.
So like, I shared with them, I was like, I'm such a people pleaser. Like, I will
Yeah.
walk in a room and I want to be doing everything I can to help someone else and make their situation better or help them feel
Yeah.
better. Like, I want to do that. But I have to really wrestle with like man, it feels nice to know that I was the reason they did
Yeah.
that. Like, it's
Yeah.
as much as that's as hard as that is to share and admit.
Yeah.
Like, it's very real.
Yeah.
Like, if you live to serve others, and like, he was living proof of like his life. He does like all of his experiences, everything he's doing is for others. And so, like, it's something that I wrestle with, and I'm sure people that like are similar minded like me that want to please others wrestle with like it does feel good to know you did something for someone, and like it can be really addicting to fall into that and then make that the reason why you do everything.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got to keep your focus. So yeah, that's just, I mean, again, just really refreshing to hear his perspective, and like, it's very outside of him,
Yeah.
like in everything, and even at his detriment.
Right.
He even talked
Right.
about like, there was a point he made about, he was talking about like positive news and stuff like that. Like, how you were asking him how do you keep things so positive?
Yeah.
How do you stay
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
and stuff? And he was like, maintain your integrity. He's like, if everything fails, if the block fails, if everything in my life fails, if I maintain my integrity, I'm cool. I'm awesome. I'm okay with that. And I thought that was really like, that's just so anti-cultural.
Yeah.
It's like the world, the culture will tell you do everything you can to preserve yourself
Yeah.
and your best interest and your most successes. Like, do everything to maintain you, and anything that happens outside of you, if it crumbles, you're good. It's like, no. Well, no matter what happens in my world or my situation, if my integrity is intact, we're good. So it's, I mean, like, that is so anti-cultural that it's like, it's a breath of fresh air, because again, the culture used to be like that.
Yeah.
Culture used to be very, how can I help you? Let me hold your door. Let me lay my coat down on this puddle so you can walk across my coat and I'll get a new one. Like, that's what the culture used to be, and it's sad. Again, probably at the expense of these things.
Yeah.
It's just sad to see the culture transforming into such a selfish, and part of it is unintentional. Like, we fall into the trap unintentionally. It's not like people are getting on their phones and like waking up every morning saying, I want to be selfish.
Sure.
But it's just like the tendencies, and it's the result of like certain lifestyle changes and cultural changes. Like, selfishness is just kind of making itself why we do what
prevalent.
we do now.
Yeah, and it's so I don't know why I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago, because I was thinking about my own daily thoughts, and it stuck out to me that if you think about it, like 99% of our thoughts on a daily basis are about either what I did in the past, what I'm doing right now, where I'm going in the future. But it's all surrounded about like me and how can I benefit from a certain situation. Like if something comes up, and like a natural reaction is if something comes up in work, what I'm going to think about is, okay, how can I benefit from this, right? Or like if something and my friends are going out, like, oh, do I want to go out and do this? It's not, the first reaction is not, oh, do they need me to do something? And it's like the original, like what naturally occurs is, how can this benefit me? Or do I want to do it? Or will this make me feel good? And yeah, selfishness definitely there. But
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm basically just ending it.
I was gonna say, like, this is something that I'm wrestling with, like moving to California, and like this is so prevalent in like the decisions that we're making. We were presented, like, as some of you may know, we were presented with housing opportunities out there. So like, I'm in school in California, planning to move to California to finish school, and then would like to come back. So just started like dipping our toes in the water to figure out what's housing going to look like. And so we were presented with two really, really good opportunities housing wise. One of them is this giant mansion with a private pool in a backyard, a huge bedroom, like a pool table, a double, it's a mansion. Multi-million-dollar house that we would be able to rent for relatively cheap from a member of the church at my school. And so we were presented with that opportunity. And we were like, oh no, like we need to really consider this. While we were considering that, another opportunity shows up, and it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment at a church building where we would be able to serve in the church, and I would be able to be a pastor of the teen ministry at the church. And it would be completely free. And I was just talking to the students at my church last night. I was like, I feel like this is a test. Looking back, it's easy to see this now. But like in the moment, like the first things that came to our minds were, what's going to be the best for us? What's going to be the most comfortable for us? What's going to put us in the best position financially, mentally, spiritually? Like, that is so selfish. Like in this instance, I have an opportunity where I can be catered to in a mansion with a private pool for a relatively affordable price. I have a free option that's not the shiniest and sparkliest, but I'm going to be able to help. We'll both be able to help serve a church that really needs help right now. It's like the first things that we were considering were how much space we'll have, how nice it'll be, can we bring our dog, like all of these things. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, hold on. Before we start asking, how can this serve us? We need to be asking, what can we do to serve those that are going to be in those situations? And it's like, man, like when you really put that into perspective and you hold both options up, you've got this giant house that you would have to pay a decent price for, free 1-bedroom apartment with the opportunity to serve. It's like, man, it's not many times in life that you're able to look at two choices and see, like,
Such a
I
clear-
think this is a test. Like, this is really a test for me personally and my wife and those around us. Like, shiny, sparkly mansion, 1-bedroom apartment, and serving. It's like, So, it's just so prevalent with, like, making decisions. It's
Well,
really crazy.
if you want to make a decision that, affects other people and not yourself, you can always stay in Indianapolis to make me happy. So
Oh, really?
that's also an option.
Oh, really?
That's also an option.
Okay.
But no, I think that's kind of a good way to end the discussion about the block, specifically because those are some of the key takeaways that we had. And if you have not watched it, if you need some sort of inspiration, you need some just general life advice, or you just need to be encouraged, definitely listen to it, and then 100% go check him out as well, John Nelson at The Block. Great episode, and I hope to stay in contact with him as well, because he's just a genuinely awesome guy.
No, yeah, he was super cool. Also, so wrapping that up, this Friday we got Jim
Rawlinson.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot.
This was a great one.
So totally different type of interview, I guess. Totally different type of podcast. We go from talking about the meaning of life and being selfless, and all of a sudden to now talking with Jim all about Indianapolis history, the government, and kind of how it's the ins and outs and working, how Indianapolis as a city went from great to bad to back to great, and how that works, and how the government gets involved in the city, the history behind it, and just the information in this next episode to me was just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy.
Yeah,
I never
felt
knew
like I
any
was
of
in a
it.
free class.
Yes,
like it was
yes.
so cool. Like it's crazy how much we learned in that like 40-minute interview about Indianapolis that is just like mind blowing. And like he was sharing a lot about like the development of Indianapolis, like what goes on behind like development issues, hurdles they have to jump, like a lot of stuff that I just wasn't aware of.
Right.
So this episode, if you're wanting to learn more about Indianapolis, the city that we call home, this is, I tell you what, you will not need to watch any other videos about Indianapolis after this one, because you will learn everything about the development of the city, the things that go on when considering growth in this city, and just, I loved it. It was so educational and informative.
Educational is the perfect word for that. If you want an educational podcast for 45 minutes about Indianapolis's history and how to go forward with it, this Friday at noon will be the podcast for you. I forgot.
I promise it was not as boring as it sounds either. Like, you hear this and you're like, 45 minutes about Indianapolis? Like, what the heck? No, I promise you I was literally like, what?
Yeah.
What? So, it was really, really cool.
Which just goes to show, like, there's just so much information about even just where we live that we just don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine how much more that he knew that we didn't even get a chance to go talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And just all the ins and outs that we've interviewed some awesome people. These next few
We've got some awesome
episodes
ones
are gonna
coming
be
out
really,
soon.
really cool.
Yeah.
So definitely keep an eye out for this Friday. Last week, news-wise.
Oh, yeah. What we got?
Well, you said you had something outside of the podcast you want to mention.
Oh, it was just the garage.
The garage?
The food hall that I went to at the Bottle Works. Yeah, that's all
What I wanted to talk about was stonks. I want to talk about what's happening.
Rabbit trail, baby.
So
everyone wants to talk about it.
Everyone wants to talk about it. We'll give the people what they want.
What's going on?
So if you aren't aware of what's going on, welcome out from under the rock. So basically, I'm going to do a very poor job of discussing what's happening.
Speaking of stocks, I wonder how mine are.
Yeah, might want to check on that this morning. I probably should too. But basically, a bunch of hedge fund billionaires were short selling GameStop and some other stocks. So people on Reddit got together, found it out, and they started buying those stocks, which then drives the price up. And the price will basically keep going up and up until the hedge funds stop shorting it and are able to just buy it back and take the loss. So that's been happening all last week, and it was a crazy week in the stock market. If you pay attention at all, I I bought into some GameStop and AMC. I had to join.
Did you really?
I had to join my fellow friends out there, just a couple, and it's just been crazy to see what's going on. It's very interesting to see people on total opposite ends of the spectrum politically all of a sudden coming together and, being like, we want to hold this, hold, don't sell. I find it more than anything just entertaining. But I think, there could be some pretty large repercussions of what's going on. I mean, we saw Robinhood, which is basically it's where the layperson, me and you, can go and put your money into and invest in stocks. Yeah. So you have the Robinhood app. I took all my money out of Robinhood after what they did. So basically I don't know how they've gotten away with it so far, but they illegally just stopped trading on these stocks.
There's some lawsuits, don't worry.
Yeah. So, I mean, there'll be things coming, but they just one day stopped the trading with it, which made people even more eager to buy the stocks. But man, I just wanted to get, what do you think about it? What have you heard, and what are your thoughts on what's going on?
My opinion has a value of about 2 cents. I know what's going on. I'm aware of the situation, obviously, because I am investing in using Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I think last week was a very clear presentation of the amount of corruption that is going on in a lot of, virtually all sectors of large organization.
Large organizations, government, all of it. Yeah.
Organization in general, like big tech, big investment agencies, big speakers, big government organizations. Like this isn't
which
conspiracy.
has been going on for a long time.
It's been going on. It is not conspiracy. It is not like tinfoil hat stuff. Like
which they want you to make it think.
No,
it
that's
is.
the thing. Like they're gonna play this off as like, oh, you conspiracy theorists, you're wearing tinfoil hats looking for aliens. It's like, no, there are direct ties.
It's right in our face.
And this week was a very I think for my lifetime when I've been invested in looking at the government and politics and stuff like that, this is the clearest that I've ever seen corruption painted. And I'm really curious to see where it goes. But it's also like kind of a gut check, a reality check of like, where am I putting my hope in? Like, am I going to put my hope and my trust in a government or a big tech agency or an investment agency or stocks even if that matters? So again, my value, my opinion is 2 cents on this scale. Like, I'm not an expert. I only know what I know from what I read. And I mean, again, I'm not really shaken. If I lose money, I lose money. But again, my hope isn't in any of this stuff. My hope isn't in the government. My hope isn't in a leader. So for me, it's just it is like eye-opening and entertaining at the same time to see everything that's going on. You also had Dogecoin go up like 600% one day last week. So it was 800%.
Could have been.
I think it was 800%.
It's insane what's happening. But I just wanted to bring that up because everyone seems to be talking about it, and
might as well throw us in the loop.
And it's fun. It's fun to see people that had nothing to do with the stock market, did not care about it at all of a sudden being like invested in it. And it's like really, it's actually kind of cool to see like just normal day people buying stocks. Like that's kind of, I feel like, how it should be. You should have people invest in businesses. And so it is awesome to see like real people get involved in this stuff. And whether it's they're buying one stock of GameStop, or they had bought 100 or 100,000, whatever it is, you're seeing these people come together and be like, look, we're standing up to this, and we're trying to do this for ourselves. And people at the top saying, no, you aren't, and people at the bottom saying, yes, we are. And it's just going back and forth. And I mean, who knows where this next week's going to go, if it keeps trending up, and how this is going to shake it up. There will be another investing platform, I think, coming out of this. Robinhood, I think, will go
there were a couple already.
I think yes, there
Robinhood was the biggest one. I mean, it's like,
but there will be other companies that rise from this, and I really hope there is some sort of actual change instead of just one corrupt government or
Acorns.
Acorns,
Robin
yeah,
Hood,
Acorns is a good one
Weeble.
for retirement, I believe. But
Yeah, you're
so
right.
there's a
Never
few,
mind.
but yeah, I thought it was interesting and definitely wanted to bring it up. But we're already at 40 minutes, 45 minutes,
I have no idea. Well, minus the
minus 15, I guess.
15ish that we were messing with audio stuff.
So quick rundown of the week, and then we'll close it up. So what do you got going on this week?
Today's Monday. We are just cranking out some content stuff. Monday is kind of like the groundwork day where
Yeah.
we figure out
A lot of planning.
what we've got to do, putting stuff on Trello, which I love.
Yes.
Getting checklists made.
Uh-huh.
Really just kind of forecasting the week is today's
Mm-hmm.
job. Tuesday
We have our meeting.
we're meeting, content day, go try and get photo video stuff.
Got a lot going on this week.
Just a typical week, I
Yeah,
think.
typical week.
Not much going on.
Good. I got some pictures this morning and working with some clients, and
Sign off on
that's
the
about
house,
it.
all that
That's
fun
about it.
stuff.
Yeah, I gotta do that here this morning. Actually, before 12, I gotta send some texts out. So let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. I want to do a lightning round.
Oh yeah, hit me.
I thought that'd be cool.
Sure, quick.
All right. I'll ask, I think it's like 10 questions.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Just rapid fire
I have to answer all these. All right.
answer. All right, you ready?
Yep. Go.
Texting or talking?
Talking.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one you live in?
Favorite city. World, Minnesota.
Okay. Nickname that your parents used to call you?
Joybug.
Joybud. Okay.
Joybug,
Last song you downloaded or played?
It's the one I played for you this morning. It's called Amen by For King and Country.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Speak every language in the world.
Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
How long does it take you to get ready?
30 minutes at most from scratch.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Last week I drove over 1,000 miles. I would say I'm a pretty good driver.
Fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is...
Way overrated.
At what age do you want to retire?
35.
Invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
Yes. Stick with your convictions.
All right. Round 2 is me.
All right. This is amazing. All right. Scale of 1 to 10. How good are you at keeping secrets?
5.
What? I'm never telling you anything. All right. Ariel or Jasmine?
I know those are princesses.
Okay.
I'm going to choose or.
Oh, come on. All right. First celebrity crush.
Oh, no. I don't know. Trying to think back when I was a kid. Maybe like Selena Gomez.
Mine's Aaron Rodgers.
What? What?
Dawn or dusk?
Dawn.
Okay. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go to?
50s.
Oh, okay. Do you snore?
No.
Yes. Place you most want to travel?
Greece.
I loved Greece. Favorite junk food?
Oh, man. I don't consider popcorn junk food because it's not that unhealthy. So I'm going to say candy. Just
What kind
flat,
of just general?
broad candy.
Chocolate or candy?
Candy.
Okay.
Candy for sure. I like Reese's. Like, I like chocolate every
Yeah.
now and then. But, man, like Twizzlers, cotton candy.
Favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, my goodness. What was the name of it? Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite season of the year?
Summer. Summer and fall.
love that
Summer
heat.
and fall.
Last Halloween costume?
Woody.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
And do you ever post inspirational quotes on social media?
I wouldn't call them inspirational
Yeah,
quotes.
You do little.
I post like scripture stuff,
Yeah,
like Bible
it's
stuff.
inspirational.
So sure, call it an
inspirational.
inspirational quote. That was fun. I like
That was
lightning
fun.
rounds.
We're gonna do that every week because that was very
I know.
entertaining.
Did you have any last words to share with the wonderful people that are watching?
No, I hope everyone has a really good week. If you kind of getting on a more personal note, if you guys ever need just to reach out to talk to someone, definitely reach out to us. And again, if you have questions for us, whether it be personal questions or questions about what we do, feel free to reach out. And
Please.
if you need a real estate agent, I'm here for to help you. You knew
I
it
was
was coming.
just about to say you made it a whole episode without plugging yourself.
No, of course
But you
not.
did. But you did. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love Monday mornings. We get to just kind of have fun, hang out,
Yeah.
talk about stuff we don't really get to talk about. And again, you guys can interact with us as much as you want. You can share comments, questions, DM us throughout the week for things you want to learn about us, about the show. Those are more fun. Last week we had someone on with us
Yeah.
that was just commenting, sharing things, asking questions. So that's a lot of fun. Feel free to reach out to us, ask us anything. We love interacting with you guys. Again, this show exists for you guys, not for us. That's all I got. Make sure you guys reach out. Make sure you guys are tuning in for this week's worth of content. Thank you, last week's sponsor, Circle City Metalworks. It was awesome being able to work with them, create a video for them.
Yeah.
If you know anyone that wants to sponsor, reach out to us. If you know anyone that wants to be on the show, reach out to us. Super cool to highlight awesome people in Indianapolis. I think that's all.
All
I
right.
think we're ready to rock and roll, wrap it up.
Let's have a great week, Brendan.
All right. You guys have a wonderful week. We will see you all this Friday for the first episode of the week, which is the 4th episode or the 5th episode.
You're the worst.
Whatever. Just tune in this Friday for this week's episode.
All right,
with
let's get
Jim
started.
Rawlinson. Look forward to seeing you then.
Dear Winter,
Oh, man.
Thank you.